Welcome to the oral antibiotic labeling training. For this training, it will be useful for participants to have Appendix A Labeling Guide, which is an appendix in the MDH Mass Dispensing Guidelines. Once a client has gone through greeting, triage, and screening, they will arrive at dispensing. This is marked on the slide with the "You Are Here" symbol. One component of dispensing is the labeling of antibiotics. There are two labeling steps we will review in this training: the labeling of the medication and the labeling of the screening form. The labeling of prescription medications is a legal requirement of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the Minnesota Board of Pharmacy. During an emergency, some elements of labeling that are typically required will be legally suspended. However, all antibiotics from the SNS will require some amount of additional labeling as part of the dispensing process. Medications must be labeled at pods with the following information: client name, medication dosage, medication frequency, and the date medication is dispensed. Pods are responsible for providing their own labels. MDH has a label template available on SharePoint. It is formatted to an Avery number 5160 address label or equivalent product and generates 30 2 5/8 by 1 inch labels per label stock page. In the example label shown here, Jane Doe has been dispensed doxycycline. She will need to take one 100 milligram tablet by mouth every 12 hours. This label will be put on the blank side of the medication bottle so that it does not cover the other information on the bottle. One individual is able to pick up medication for multiple people if they have completed screening forms for each person. In this case, each medication must be individually labeled for the appropriate person. If someone refuses to provide their name, enter "name refused" in the line for the client's name. The second labeling step is for record keeping. Pod staff need to document prescription information for the pod's records. This information is important to collect for a few reasons. If there was an issue with a specific lot number of medication, Public Health may need to get in touch with the individuals. Public Health may also need to conduct client follow-up. In this slide, you can see there is more than one way pods may handle screening. Pods may use paper screening forms that are filled out by hand. They may also choose to use Pod PreCheck, MDH's online screening tool, and then have clients print the completed screening forms at home or at the pod. It's possible that a pod could use a combination of these methods to complete their dispensing. Regardless of how pods plan to conduct screening, they will need to label the forms. This will take place in the "For Staff Use Only" section, highlighted in red on both forms. Here is a zoomed-in view of the "For Staff Use Only" section of the paper screening form. The dispenser will peel a label from the medication bottle and affix it onto the screening form in the designated space. Then they will sign or initial where required based on pod manager guidance. This label comes on the medication bottle and is not printed by the pod. Here's a zoomed-in view of the "For Staff Use Only" section of the printed Pod PreCheck form. Again, the dispenser will peel a label from the medication bottle and affix it onto the screening form in the designated space, and then sign or initial where required based on pod manager guidance. All screening forms are kept in accordance with the pod's data retention policies, as outlined in the MDH Mass Dispensing Guidelines. Pod PreCheck also has the functionality to use with a QR code reader. At the current time, MDH does not provide technical support or hardware for this process, but hopes to in the future. If your pod has the hardware and capability to use QR codes, pod staff will complete the following steps. Pod staff will use the medication QR code generator found on MDH's Medical Countermeasures webpage, shown on the left, to generate a QR code specific to the medication. The image on the right shows the medication QR code generator. The code will capture the medication, manufacturer, lot number, expiration date, dispenser name, and dispensing site. These QR codes should be generated ahead of time for each dispenser and medication they might dispense. When a client arrives to their station, the dispenser will then scan the QR code on the screening form, followed by the QR code for the medication dispensed. This will link these data points for the pod's records in a spreadsheet. Here is an example of the data that would be joined in the Excel document. The cells have been colored blue and orange for clarification. The cells colored in blue come from the pod pre-check screening form and include data from all the fields the person entered. The cells colored in orange come from the pod admin application and include all the data from the medication QR code. The Excel row includes all client information from the two merged QR codes. Thank you for your time today. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions.